Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the self-series with Wildflower. Today I have two amazing individuals in the studio. They call themselves besties. I'm not jealous, but I'm very big on friendships. I love good relationships. I'm very happy when I see people loving, being friends and just going through life together. I feel like we can't do life alone, so come with me as I introduce to you Sadia and Dorcas, the latest best friends in town. Friends for a while, and the title for this edition is 2023 Through Our Eyes. They're going to take us through their journey through 2023, and they're also going to be telling us a little bit about their friendship. So who do we go with first, Sadia, so that Dorcas can calm down? Okay, Sadia, do you want to? Yes. Introduce yourself just.
Okay, so my name is Halimatu Sadia Ochekliye. Dorcas' best friend, as has been established.
Right.
I'm a lawyer. I'm also a program manager, and I think it's safe to stop here, so we won't go too serious things. But yeah, that's it.
Oh, good to meet you, Sadia, Dorcas' best friend. Okay, Dorcas, please.
Hi, I'm Dorcas Anaja. I'm Sadia's best friend. I'm a lawyer as well, and so many other things. Yeah, but I'm human.
Oh, good to know. So did you guys become best friends from law school, because you're both lawyers? How did you guys meet?
No, okay, so we met, if I have to go first, we met at uni, and we've known each other for let's say up to 10 years, because uni was 5 years, but we became friends in I would say personally for me in 2017. And so that's 7 years.
Oh, okay. So that you guys knew yourself, but you were not friends.
We were not friends.
Then you became friends. You guys were acquaintance.
Yeah,
or you just know, I know you in the streets. Is that what it was for you too, Sadia?
Like she said, we met in 2014, right?
2013.
2013, yeah, 2013, and then at that point, it's a long story, but we met in 2013, and at that point we're just people who were cool, and then we're classmates. So for that period of time, we're just cool up until I think 200 level, where we became roommates.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So good to know. The day I had Dorcas say, "Hi, Messi, meet Sadia. She's my best friend." I'm like, seriously, who does that? 2023. No, I wasn't hating, and I like Dorcas. I like Dorcas so much.
Obviously,
I mean,
she's obsessed.
Everybody.
Oh, I'm not obsessed with her. I just like Dorcas. Okay, and I'm just like, somehow I'm just going to be very nice friends with Dorcas, and suddenly she comes and says, "Hi, Messi, yeah, my best friend." And I'm wondering, I'm like, oh, she has a best friend. So guys, what was 2023 like for you? What is one word that you can use to summarize 2023 for you?
For me, I think the word will be alignment.
Ooh, deep. Really deep. Dorcas, let's say.
For me, I would say, I thought of it, but I would say revealing.
Revealing. Okay, so alignment. More context.
Okay, first and foremost, I'm a big Jesus girl. Let's start with that. And for I think the longest time, I have been struggling with myself and with who I was called to be and all of that. But in this year, I've been able to kind of let go of all restraints and all the worries and just align myself with who I know I'm meant to be. And so that's why it's alignment for me.
And how has it been? There's something about trying to, fit into, should I call it purpose? I know that it's not the easiest place to be when you're trying to, it's like transitioning. How has it been for you?
I think for me, it's actually been the most peaceful I felt.
Nice.
Yes, it's the most peaceful. Yes, it has required me to, there are times when I get anxious and I'm scared. And it's like, oh my God, what am I sure this is what I want to do? But I think that the transition has been more peaceful, and it's almost like when you come to yourself, there's nothing else, there's no burden anymore. So I think it's actually so far, to this extent, it's been easy. I hope it continues to be, but to this extent, it's been easy. Yeah.
I love it. And revealing.
Okay, so revealing is like the word says, revealing, has just really shown me, number one, who I am and who I am capable of. Sorry, what I'm capable of, rather. I feel like God has also been showing me how weak I can be, or how weak I am, and how I can't do a lot on my own. And so it's like, are you going to give it to me, or are you going to keep striving to do things on your own? And so I think 2023 is like my favorite number.
Love it.
And I remember entering into the year saying like, oh my God, this year is going to be like amazing. And I was like, declaring great things for myself. And I feel like it was in the revealing of what I can do, what I'm capable of, that I realized, this was a good year, because it revealed some things I thought about myself, things I didn't even know about myself. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I love it for you guys. Actually, I feel like it was all good for you. But was there any point where there was any like out of plan experience for you, where something like happened that was really, I have a lot for myself, but then for you guys, was there a point where you just wondered like, this thing did not align with any of the things on my vision board, and how were you able to deal with it?
I think for me was having to leave my job because God said I should.
Oh wow.
It was hard because if you know me and I'm committed, till this day I'm committed to the cause of the organization, but it was hard. It was a hard time. In fact, I would say I disobeyed for like 2 months because I was just struggling with, can I leave this? Like, yes, I know you're calling me to other things, to focus on other things in this season, but like, can I leave? Like, I felt so much attachment and loyalty that it was so hard that I had to just say, okay, you know what? I'm being disobedient, and the more I'm out of line with what I'm supposed to be, the longer I'm wasting my own time.
Of course.
Yeah, so that was hard for me. And leaving that with no option, like it was more like I was just going into the wild. There was no safety net, there was nothing. So it was just like, wow, I guess we're trusting God now, so that was it.
And it's been fine, because you mentioned earlier that everything has been peaceful and all. So when you say, you were the leading of God to leave your job, so I just want you to like, give more context. Like, how was it for you? I don't want you to like go like deep to say, oh, how has been your work with God been, but I'm sure there was a way that the experience came for you and you felt like, oh, this is the leading of God for me, and you had to obey.
Okay, so actually last year I personally wanted to leave last year. And it was something I told God, and he said, do not leave. Right? It was more like, oh, I wanted to leave in the sense of, okay, there were some things that were happening that I wasn't sure of. And then he said, stay. And when you stay, your heart now goes back into the system. And then this year it's like, now I want you to leave. When your heart is now at peace. It's almost like I'm now at peace with this place. There is now a commitment. It's more like it's rekindled love for the same place. Like there was uncertainty, now you're like, oh, I can't wait to fight all the causes together. And it's like, now you can leave. But then I think that the way I was able to know was because first and foremost, I have a relationship with God that spans years.
Oh, nice.
And it's been a journey, and honestly I don't know how to explain it. I feel like it's one of those things that you have to experience to know. But yes, I think that in knowing God and talking to him over the years, I've been able to know when he has called me to do certain things. And
thank you. Dorcas, the question was there any out of plan experience for you this year, and how were you able to do it?
I think there were some. So okay, if you know about the Open Mind Young Voices activist program, she actually introduced me, yes.
And I met her there.
She introduced me to it, and I applied and whatever. And so I think one of the out of plan experiences, I remember anytime I go to somewhere new, I'm always like, you know what, I'm just going to be, that girl at the back. That I don't do anything. I just want to go and learn, because I was quite excited. I remember writing in my application that I've always been someone who was passionate about Nigeria, but I find that I was slowly losing that spark. And if this activist program was to make you to rekindle, basically have like a passion for their country and be passionate enough to change. I was excited because I feel like, okay, then there are so many things I don't know about Nigeria, about our history. So I'm mainly going there to learn so that I can apply it to my work. I never saw myself, applying for any position like president or anything. I was just going there to learn. But at the beginning of the class, we're asked that, okay, we need to do more things on communication. And I was like, okay, I'm falling in love with creating content. Let me just volunteer for it. And that's how they said I should be communication lead. And it was really an out of plan experience for me, because in serving in that capacity, things about myself was revealed. Things I want to do too, future-wise, presently was revealed. Just that opportunity to serve. It was just amazing, and it was out of plan. I think that's one of the major highlights of my year. That I would say it was like an out of plan experience.
Oh, that's beautiful. She's actually our, the whole community now. She's our communications leader. People should clap for her. Proud of you, girl. Okay, now let's go to exciting stuff, like exciting things. The good part of 2023 for you.
Wow. So I'm kind of what some people may term boring because I'm introverted.
Oh,
right?
okay.
She's not boring, guys.
Oh, best friends, BFF goals.
Either way, I think that the most exciting times for me has been like just spending time with my family, hanging out with them, and just doing stuff that I normally would not. My introverted self wants to hide, but then actually going out and having time, talking to people. That's been like my exciting part of the year. So talk about the side I was filled with anxiety. So
Maybe we'll talk about it. But then you started a YouTube channel, Sadia.
Wow.
Proud of you.
Subscribe, guys.
Subscribe.
I
Okay,
think that's more of the answer.
okay. Maybe we got into it too early, but then. So you started a YouTube channel. How has it been for you?
Wow, it's been, first and foremost, I have to give it up to content creators. Like you guys do the work, because it's not as easy as it looks. And then you just realize that, man, you have to give them their props. So when you see people's what's it called, their cash list or their rates, right? And you're like 1 million, and before you're like 1 million, now you
What
get
have you done?
you are doing well, sir. Sir, do you need anything else? Because it's actually quite like there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's not just about even setting, it's even getting the mindset to put yourself out there. Even starting from that, especially if you're the kind of person that likes to be private, and you know that, okay, this is something you need to do. Just even that step of putting yourself out there, being in that space of the unknown, you don't know how things will go one way or the other. In fact, it's a lot. And then having to learn or get better at editing, at shooting, at even marketing. One of the things I personally hate the most is like having to get people to watch your stuff. Like, I think I made my first video and I just posted a link on my story. I didn't even bother to say, guys, please check my. I did not. I just posted the link because I'm like, I don't like the idea of marketing and stuff. But yeah, so that's it.
But it's been going well.
It has.
It would, do you feel better?
Yeah, I do.
Doing it now?
I feel freer.
Okay.
I think that
you're doing something that you've always wanted to do. Because I was going to ask, like, what strategy would you say helped you like manifest? I feel like starting the YouTube page, I'm just taking it back to when I wanted to start this series and all the emotions that came with it, the struggles and the fact that I needed encouragement. I was constantly in my head, what do you want to do? Are you sure? And all of that. So I don't know if I should call it a strategy, but that was why I was asking, like, you've manifested something. It feels like you bettered something this year, right? And is there like a particular strategy you would say for somebody that would want to start out?
I think I would say that just do it afraid. Do it afraid. Because honestly, when I did the first video, I was so shy to put it out. But then it's that if you do not start, it's almost like you have to come. It's almost like looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself that if you do not do this, you only have yourself to blame. And I think that we struggle a lot of times with the perception that other people may have of us. So I think that my biggest strategy, quote and unquote, was first doing it afraid and getting to that point in my mind where I'm like, no matter the outcome, I know this is what I'm meant to do. So however it goes, just do it.
And what's the problem is equipment.
Okay, so that was one of my issues for the longest time. Like, I always felt like I did not have the equipment to start. And quite frankly, I think that I also am in a better place to afford the equipment. But one of the things that I have seen is that collaboration is kind of key. Like, you may have a friend, because I'm actually shooting on my iPhone, right? And it's not like an iPhone. I started shooting with my iPhone 7, like, initially, but now I'm shooting on my iPhone 10, right? Yeah, but then I know that for some people, what they may have is a friend that has a good Infinix phone, right? You can just beg that your friend for like 1 hour 30 minutes and say, you know what, we're going to use natural light. We'll find one nice looking grass somewhere, and then it's like, okay, we're going to shoot. Please, 1 hour 30 minutes. You prep yourself. So I think that sometimes it's that it's more like you have this idea, but you don't break it into little bits for yourself. So it's that, okay, you don't have the equipment, but you may have a friend with a phone, but you know that you're using somebody's time. So what do you need to do to ensure that you can utilize that time to create something valuable? So I think that at the end of the day, you may not have the phone or the big lights or whatever, but you start where you are at. Like, I know one of the people who inspire me a lot is, like, I think of someone like Salem King, right? When Salem started, he was using also like an Infinity Techno phone, and he was shooting in black and white because he knew that color was not going to work. Do you understand? Right. So he did it in black and white, and then it became like his brand. At this point, it's his brand that it's black and white. So I think that start where you're at. There's this boy I know from home. He has always wanted, or he has always had this dream of being a filmmaker. And today is like, I think he was like 15 or so, right? He started shooting on his phone. Like, he started shooting on his phone. Like, he will come to my house and be like, oh, they shot this skit and that skit and all of those things. He started off, and today is at the point where he's making short films with our area boys. Do you understand? Like, utilizing the friends that he has, they're making short films. And right now, he has grown so much. I think he has close to 50k followers. And then I think he was recently at different like premieres, and he's basically, because he has put in the work,
becoming a name,
he's building himself. So I think that his story is also something to look at, that if you have the passion, don't let your fears tell you that so many things are limiting. Like, use what you have, because he would go and rent a camera, right? And to rent it, then it's like, this is me talking about, I'm not talking about Abuja, I'm talking about Kaduna. Like, to go and rent it for like 5k, and he's renting it for maybe from 2:30 to 5:30 for like 5k, and today may come to us like, how far, please, if you can me 1k or 2k, because he needs the money. And then people will contribute, because like, he's showing that this is what he wants to do. He's even going ahead to say, okay, you have access to something I may not have. Can I utilize your access? So I think that it's important that instead of letting the fears, look at your situation and ask yourself, how can I work around this to get the same outcome?
Amazing. I just wanted to add that I actually started the self-series on Facebook last year, and I was doing it like a virtual thing. I would invite somebody who would talk, but network was frustrating. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? For almost an hour. So I said, I'm not doing that thing again. This year I'm going to go invite somebody who will say, you know, it sounds okay until you go to a studio and then they tell you 100k. So the first shoot I actually did, my friend's iPhone I used in his office. You know, everything was him. The only thing that I did was bring somebody, and then, you know, I really wanted to do it. This thing is something I want to do. So actually that thing you said is really, really valid. If we keep waiting, we'll actually wait forever. Wait forever. Dorcas, an exciting moment for you in 2023.
Exciting moment. I think, like Sadia said, really, like, I think I tried more things this year. So I also volunteered for Abuja Literary Festival. Thanks to her.
I was so proud of you for being a part of that thing.
But that kind of exposed me to, like, I think a community and a space that I usually would not. Normally, I'm a fan of the arts and books and whatever, but when I start thinking of, oh my God, like I have to leave my house and go, I would usually just forfeit it. But this kind of pushed me to, be more open to, even events. I went out more this year.
So you dancing.
And normal me, I'm like, I want to be in my house. But somehow I went out more this year, and it was exciting. And it was not just exciting because I met people. Yes, the people were fine. But it was just learning more and, back to the revealing more about myself. Because sometimes I actually like when I'm, putting my head down and just being outside. So sometimes it's good. I was more outside this year in a good way.
We outside, love it. I was saying this. She was peppering us. Okay, so let's come back to the friendship. How long have you guys been friends, Dorcas?
I said 7 years.
Oh, you mentioned. Sorry, guys. 7 years. So who initiated? It's not like no, we'll get into it. That's how you guys are here. Who initiated
I have my story. She has her story.
We'll hear it. That's why you are here. Please.
Okay, so my version, just to take time, my version of events. We met in 100 level, right? We were not even like entered. Well, okay, we had gotten admission, obviously, but it was during registration, and I met her, and I think she was going back to Kaduna.
Yeah.
But I was still remaining in Zaria. We went to AP Zaria, by the way. I was remaining in Zaria, and so I was staying. And so she was like, let me give you my number. Now, till this day, Sadia argues that she didn't say that she wants to give me a number, that I was the one that asked her for her number. Until the last day that God is going to play the event
the movie.
and show us.
Oh God.
That's how it will be. But okay, for the friendship, I think that's just the meeting. But for friendship, I think it just happened. I felt a leading in my heart after 100 level that I was like, this kind get closer to Sadia. I actually felt it, and I knew that it was God, because in that moment I don't think I would say I was looking for a friend. I just knew that Sadia was good people, and I just felt a leading in my heart. And I remember writing it down, as in, invest in your relationship with Sadia, like be closer to her.
Are you serious?
Only for her to tell me
in
200 level that we picked, because school, then there's a way they do stuff, like we book online for our hostels and stuff. And so I don't even think we were gisting or something, but she just told me that she was my roommate. Yes, I think it was when she registered and she was my roommate. I was like, I was like, okay, I didn't expect that coming, but she was my roommate. And I think it was from then that, we didn't become friends exactly, but I said knowing her and, knowing
just
that
evolved.
person. Yes, and it evolved to like a friendship.
Do I still ask you for your version? Please, your version, let's just hear it.
Okay, it's quite similar.
Okay.
The version I remember is that I met while we're trying to register. And at the time I met Dorcas was like extra. So when I met her, I think we were trying to register, and the guy who was doing the registration was frustrating her life. So she was vocally frustrated. And then I remember meeting her. I was like, oh wow, this girl. Okay.
Basically, guys, she's trying to say that I was very insulting.
Well, she was at that time. No, she wasn't Raz, but then either way, I think I left to Kaduna and I told my childhood best friend, also named Dorcas, at home that I met this girl when I went for registration and stuff. But like, I don't know, because of the way she was insulting. I don't know if we're going to vibe. Yeah. And then she was like, oh, you don't know, she could be your best friend tomorrow. You don't know.
Wow.
So for me, it was just like, one of those things, like, okay. But then it was almost like she prophesied into the friendship, because none of us planned for it. And then, like she said, 200 level, we got to stay together. We fought a lot. Oh my God.
Look at me coming to ask if there was ever a point the friendship was threatened.
There were so many times.
So many.
So what has salvaged it? What has helped you guys still here? That Dorcas can confidently say.
Definitely God, because I know, like she was saying, we fought a lot at the beginning. Now, I don't know, I don't want to be preachy or anything, but I know I've gotten, even without people saying it out, I feel like I've gotten people give a vibe that, Sadia and Dorcas are so close. And I don't want to be like all those couples that be like, guys, you don't know what we did together. But really, because at the beginning, okay, so let's talk in years of class now. 200 level, we say knowing each other. I was getting, okay, so Sadia was this kind of person. I did not really understand her. She was different from what I knew. Let's say that. I mean, someone will wake up and she's like, God told me to wear this. And like, I wore this today because, and I'm like,
Wow.
what do you mean God told you to? Like, wear what you want to wear, that kind of thing. But it was beautiful to me because definitely I personally, it's not even personal belief, it is that there's a God-shaped hole in our hearts that calls out. So when you see something that is like God, like your heart, whether you want to admit it or not, your heart calls out like, what is that? I want to understand. And so that was it for me because I didn't understand, and she was very she was just amazing. Sadia used to go and fetch that for me.
Oh,
that was my bag. Like, I wake up. I know there were times where I was sitting, and I remember one time where I woke up and there was no water, and I was like, "Excuse me, why is there no water?"
Wow,
I was a lot. I personally, and I keep saying God because He really used my relationship with her to stretch me back to we were fighting a lot. It felt like I could not do anything right. Like, she was always saying, we need to talk. this is what you do.
It's a proper relationship.
I was
God.
not a confrontational person.
Okay.
I am even someone, like, basically what happens to me is that I build resentment. So it was not like she wasn't doing things to annoy me, but because I was not I wanted, maybe I was that kind of person that, oh, let's just look like, oh, Dorcas is nice, she doesn't even complain. But deep down, there were things she was doing and I was being resentful about. Yeah. And so I needed to get to a place that's where I'll be like, you know what, this thing you did hurt me, it annoyed me. So we went from a place of me seeing her as perfect to me seeing her as human. Like, I lived this high 500 and I was like, wait, this girl's head actually used to touch. But then I now became my boy. You know what? All of us head used to touch. We're all human, and it's beautiful because I could see the great qualities about her, and I could see, like, you know what, that kind of, so that's what we grew. There were so many things. There were so many things she did that annoyed me.
You guys don't need marriage class anymore. Please.
What you know what's funny is that it took you to 500 level to
realize.
I'm serious.
Like,
stay
with me 300 level.
I did. What I did, I never admitted. Now that I can go back, like, wait, your head actually stopped. But it did not open up to me. I feel like sometimes, you know, when you look at things that is it hindsight? Hindsight, that you're able to understand. In that moment, it was still more of a like, this girl is nearly perfect. I need to make myself.
Yeah.
But then seeing her in front of me, like, you know what? I am the shit, and you have issues. You don't understand that kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh my God, I've laughed so much. Okay, so I'll just ask, how have you guys been able to like instill boundaries in your friendship, and not just instill but respect it? Because it's one thing for me to say, please, this is this, and it's another thing for you to say, why will you say that to me? I thought we are friends. Do you get? So have you guys been able to navigate that?
Okay, I'll say that one of the ways we've done that is actually communicate. Okay, as a person, for the large extent, I'm the kind of person that if I have a problem, I would prefer to break it down, because I'm actually a more confrontational person in the sense of I'm not coming to fight. I believe that the only way to solve a problem is if we address it. So it's more like, oh, I would bring up something to say, okay, this thing that was done, I did not like how it was or how it was done, and then you also give the person the opportunity to give you their perspective of what was done, because we can get in our head thinking that, okay, this thing that was done was this way, but when you listen to them, you realize that, oh, okay, I'm sorry, maybe the way I spoke to you and all of that. So I think in actually communicating a grievance without the intention to sever, like we had to learn that the hard way, because there were times when it was like, I'm done with this friendship. You have messed up me, I'm done. Like, I'm done. But I think that over time we've learned to just say, okay, this thing that I did not like it. This is what it comes off to me, and this person explains their point, the other person. We've gotten to a point where we barely argue. Probably because we're not staying together.
Yeah, maybe.
But we barely argue. But I think it's because we have a system of, if I do something, you can tell me. If I do something,
and I won't feel bad. I would listen, right?
I think for me, it's like, I think I was thinking about it and like boundaries, and it really hits me that we've been able to set boundaries because I actually truly respect her as a person. I respect her, and so there are times where if I if like it's now unintentional to me, but if I know this thing is going to hurt Sadia or annoy her, I actually stop. Like, it's not something I would do. And even if I mean, there are times like she said, we've developed a system where maybe joking, like, this thing you did, like, but in a way I take that to notice, like, okay, maybe this thing, maybe she's joking about it because she doesn't want to, you know, come and say you did this and that, but I'm conscious that, okay, don't do this again, that kind of thing. And I think if for one example I would say that we actually set, because there are sometimes you need to set clear boundaries, was one time. So personally, I'm those type of people that I like to show up at your house. Like, I don't like you to do it to me. But I like, maybe it's a lot of movies where I'm just like, I'll just see them, they'll show up, Papa, I'm with pizza at your house, that kind of thing. But there was one time I used to do it, and there was a time I showed up at the house and she's like, wait, you, is it that you will not call that you are coming? And I was hot. I was like, what do you mean? Like, this kind, I should be able to show up at your house and whatever. But she was like, yes, but you should still call. And I think from then I've changed, and so there are some times that you need to, you know, be up, and her doing that has already given room to say, for me, that if there's any time there's something I need to, you know, say, this thing I did, I don't like it, I don't do it again, I can't say it. So.
This is so wholesome, because most times we have friendships and you are just scared of saying to this person.
I feel like there are times where you'll be like, because me again, I'm not a confrontational person. Okay. So there are even times where I actually let things go. Like, I let things slide. And that's also knowing the person. It's very important that you should consider the person. So even like, say Sadia will not intentionally want to hurt me this way, and that will help you let things go. And even it's still going to be hard, like for you to say this thing, I don't like it. Like, I know me, I used to be very nervous about it, but then if you don't open your mouth to talk, the person will not know, and it will continue, and you will just be hating that kind
just
of
to add, like, I think one of the major things is that, like, have the mindset that this person does not have ill intentions towards you. Like, it's such a huge thing, because I think that most times we have issues because we assume ill intention. But then if you know a person and it's like, oh, this is my person, if they did anything to cross a boundary, it's not because they wanted to, or they just wanted to mess with you. There's a valid reason. Give them the grace to even the possibility of an understanding.
Oh my God.
I was giving life.
Oh my
Giving life to
that's funny. Right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Watch out.
Oh, bye. Don't worry. Okay, so how do we balance, you know, building valuable relationship with people and also being in contact with people because of what we want to get from them?
Okay, so I think people know when you want things from them. People know when you don't want them, like,
for them.
When you for them. And we all want to be loved and accepted for who we are. So there's something I truly believe, that people are valuable. It's not when you bring, and it's in working with people. So don't that culture of, you need to know somebody, you know, you need to, it's very important. Yes, you need to honor people, you need to treat people with respect, but treat everybody that way. Don't just see the person who is a panelist in this or a speaker in this, and that's the person you should pitch your tent. They're not God, number one. Number two, yes, God is going to use people to, like, you know, do things for you, but still again, they are not God. And you should treasure people just like the same way you treasure someone that opens the door for you in a restaurant. It's the same way you should look at that president. And it's just in being kind to people, that's because I don't know, I feel like I'm rambling now, but what I'm trying to say basically is that when you treat everybody with respect and you don't just see people as transactional, it gets easier. Because most of the time, look at us at events where we get very nervous at all this networking and stuff, is because we're like, okay, what value can I bring to this person? How can they show them how can I show them that, oh, it's me, like, you need to. But if you see, even if it doesn't work out with this person, you know that, okay, in your time with this person, you've treated them well. You're not scared that, oh, maybe they'll now go and find out from another person about you the next day, and they'll be like, oh, this person is this and this. That kind of, I don't know if that's making sense. Just treat everybody with respect. Don't just look at people based on transactions, because people know. I mean, me, I know. If you come with that energy, I know, and I already start. I would be like, I can laugh with you, but I'm already very cautious as to how I relate with you. So that's what I'll just say on that.
Yeah, totally agree. It's just like, for me, the principle that I personally live on is, I'm gonna bring Jesus into this, but if you know, the Bible talks about how you should give without the intention to receive. It's better to give than to receive. And if you treat people as means to an end, you almost devalue their humanity.
Right.
So it's that most times we hear it a lot in us, especially in the development space.
Yeah.
It's always network. And personally, I feel like we need to draw a line between when you're using people and when you actually love people. Like, going back to like years ago, I'm an introvert, so I always struggle with even building relationships with people. And I remember one of the things God showed me is that stop worrying so much about the details of meeting a person and what will you talk about. Just care about the person, right? And I think that most times we go into spaces, and because we are there to get something, we become users, we're manipulators. It's like we're playing this skillful game on how to, it's like chess. The end is this, you are just a means to get there. And I think that is permits me to say, a depravity of mind to think that people are just means to an end. If you want to meet somebody because you think they do great work and you like to learn from them, then of course create that relationship. But if you only want to meet them because in your mind they are these big people and somehow they are the access to your great job, your everything, then you already have it wrong. Not to say it doesn't work for people. There are people who have built themselves on this structure, but then I think it's more important who you are on the inside than even the access you get. So I think that people need to find the balance, and we should just kind of remember that these are people we're talking about. They shouldn't be somebody we use. And that's why somebody who tried to meet this great panelist or who has had 20 years experience in the development space can be so nice to that person, but you are rude to the guy who's opening the doors, you're walking into the conference. Just because you value people on status or material, it goes to show your own heart position. So I think that there's something off about it to a good extent. Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. Now I feel like coming to your middle and just, being the third person in this friendship.
You're very welcome.
Oh my God. Wow. Oh my God. When you guys see Dorcas, you know what to do to her. Okay, Sadia, you want to say like your podcast, the name, and peradventure people want to...
Yes. Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. So my YouTube channel is called.
Sorry.
Yes, but there is a podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So yes, my YouTube is Sadia, which is SA_DEEHYA on YouTube, and then for the podcast is. I have to spell it out. Oh, it's true. I haven't announced it officially, but is. Actually, the name is actually Diano, but the spelling of Dia is DHYA.
Okay.
Then no. So it's Diano, it's like a question. Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's a play on my name.
Okay.
And then, so it's going to be a journey of discovery and learning. So that's why it's Diano.
Oh, nice.
Like the question,
oh my God, you guys are so deep.
Why is so extra? Like, why?
I'm sorry. Oh, you guys are deep. Diano, like I would never think of it. I love it for you, and I hope that your YouTube channel and your podcast picks up, and the law in the humanitarian
space.
space.
Plug something.
What do you want to plug?
What do you want to plug?
I'm talking her podcast
yes,
when it comes out. And her YouTube channel.
She's gonna be on here a lot soon.
Nice. Best
Very
friends.
soon, next year.
Best friends. Best friends goes, thank you so much for coming on this, Dorcas. Thank you, Sadia. It's just beautiful hearing about your journey. Maybe I'll bring you guys individually some other time to talk about like life for you as a person. So do you have anything you want to say to us, because we are about to close the show?
Guys, subscribe,
like,
like,
oh my God,
share. That's simple. Let's not be.
Right?
Leave stupidity 2023. Guys, yes, I don't know when this will air, but be careful what you buy. Materials.
Yeah.
They want to kill us in these streets.
Well,
But God
God is
wants
on
this
the
for
throne.
us.
All right, guys.
Alright.
So Sadia already closed the show. So thank you for tuning in. Till we come your way next time, we remain self-series with Wildflower, self-series with Sadia and Dorcas.
Wow.